minutes into the session. Apologies for the delay. We had a brief power cut up here in the commentary box and we lost TV pictures, but everything now up and running. Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix, where already it is a bad start for Alex Marquez. The front end of his Ducati bike was sticking. We thought it was an engine failure. It wasn't. A lot of smoke coming down into the braking zones. We understand something is rubbing against the tyres. That's causing the smoke, so it's not looking too good out there. The systems are in a complete mess. Elon Musk has put TweetDeck behind a paywall. So for this first session, we're stuck with this screen. Thank you, Elon, you absolute... Yeah, not happy with him at all. 39 minutes to go, Enea Bastianini, Maverick Vinales, then Jorge Martin, Marco Bezzecchi, Johan Zarco. Bagnaia just goes up now into 4th position, as you can see on your timing screens. Track temperature, love to tell you, but I can't see it that well. 26 degrees, air temperature, 29 degrees, 71% humidity, as you can see just below me here in the commentary box. Full timings with the deltas, which is great news. And 39 minutes left. This is free practice 1. Ahead of practice this afternoon. This afternoon's 60-minute session. That sets the running order for Q1 and Q2. And then free practice 2 tomorrow morning, a 30-minute session for qualifying. And then into the sprint race and the main Grand Prix on Sunday. Just MotoGP this weekend to bring you. So we'll be live throughout all of it for MotoGP. And then the Moto E races, the Moto 3 and the Moto 2 will also be live. Nice, easy weekend to glisten into it. We're done by 2 p.m. on Sunday as well, which is quite nice. But everything looking okay. And yeah, TweetDeck gone. Thank you, Elon Musk, for getting rid of TweetDeck. I mean, what are we supposed to do now? Can't believe it. Literally just tells me to sign up. Honestly, £100 a year. £100 a year for TweetDeck. And monthly... £9.60. I mean, what on earth? Let's have a look at it, actually. Subscribe to Premium, yeah, no. I'm not going to do that. I just had a look at... It's now called X Pro, isn't it? Yep, RIP. All gone. It won't last long. Not many people will buy it. So, this is the 2-3 chicane as well, coming up. All changed. Not the same layout as Formula 1 use, of course. It has differed ever so slightly to be more akin to it. Now, I've got to change this back map as well because it's not actually correct. It's not set to the Austrian Grand Prix that it's supposed to be. So I can't actually find out where it is. Got to go back early on in the year, but not everything is loading up because it's still saying the Silverstone image. Honestly, when I say all the systems have crashed, I literally mean every single system on the planet has crashed today. I've never known it be so problematic and whatnot. It is just an absolute nightmare to get everything right. Yeah, well, we're nearly there. There we go. So, big weekend then here. Championship protagonist looking through to see what's going to happen next. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can anyone catch Pecco Bagnaia? That's the question. Well, let's get TweetDeck open. Discord, I mean. There's Alex Marquez's second bike has now come in. So they'll fix it up and get going. Yeah, it looks like something was sticky on the front left brake disc as well. So not 100% sure that is A-OK and safe to go. But either way, they'll take it. So, this is the problem actually now, because I've got to talk for 36 minutes, but we've got nothing to actually sort anything with. That's the problem. Because no TweetDeck means we can't go to a battle screen, we can't throw down to anything, so we're looking for an alternative to TweetDeck. And this is Alex Marquez, yeah, just the front end braking. It looks like the brake disc itself just gave up. Looking at it, like the brake disc was rubbing on some form of the bike. So, not the greatest, and certainly the most aggravating of them all. Yeah, it's a brake disc failure looking at it as well. Let's go over and go through.
Like fork legs,
yeah,
something like that.
They do have leak. Well, they have. It could be a fork leak or the. Actually, I was going to say the dry brakes, but yeah, you'd lose pressure in the front brake system if it was from the dry brakes, the Stobly connectors they have down there on the discs.
Fabio Quartararo, you would look at this track on paper and say it's not one for the Yamaha, but Fabio always, that he seems to be coming here, seems to make it work. And for me, you tell me different, it's just because of his prowess under brakes.
Yeah, last year he surprised us all. We said it all weekend, you know, this is not a Yamaha track. He's going to be struggling here. It's going to be hard, you know, against all the Ducatis, and he excelled last year. Finished second in the race, and was amazing, you know, in turn 3 on the brakes, absolutely amazing. And that pass he made as well on Jack Miller in the new chicane. So yeah, he did a very special ride last year. Is it going to happen this year? I don't think so. I think that this year, you know, the difference is bigger now, and they've lost ground, and I think he's going to struggle this year to reiterate this.
The people we thought were going to struggle here, Honda's, Taka Nakagami's in third.
Did you see the side pods? Did you see those side pods on the KTM? On the Nakagami
they're on the
bike?
factory bikes as well, so both Mark and Joan Mir have them as well. So the side, he's got... Looks like he's got the fair one.
That's the old one.
Yeah, it is.
So Marc Marquez may be doing back-to-back tests. He said yesterday, I will know in FP1 where we're at.
And Johan Mir as well. Oh, there you go. Look, that's tweet deck for you. What I mean about Marc Marquez. Yeah, I've got to remember to press 3, not 2. Marc Marquez seems to be consoled that he's staying with Honda for the future. But Johan Mir, his teammate, with Simon Patterson reporting that he actually considered retirement, that the bike is so bad this year as well. And it just has been a really awful couple of years for Honda, hasn't it, with Marc Marquez not winning a championship since 2019 as well. It's an awful long time now in a MotoGP season. Zarco goes fourth, Vinales top though. Remember, this is free practice, 45 minutes, and nothing here counts. Nothing here counts towards what we're going to see later in the practice session. Not many places do a MotoGP hub, like a blog live post, which is bad. I'm looking at Autosport. But no, I can't see anything either. MotoGP news, yeah, but there's no live blog to come through. So yeah, this is where TweetDeck came in handy for series like this, and yes, I'm not happy. TweetDeck was absolutely brilliant, and it's gone, and we haven't got much information in terms of data for MotoGP. This is about it. So unless this becomes our new screen, this is practically all we get for information like that, and it's not 100% accurate. So Quartararo into 2A, and then to the right at 2B, and uphill towards turn 3 at Remus. Turn 2A and 2B don't actually have names yet because they're a different part of the circuit that got added in a couple of years ago. So if anybody in the YouTube and Twitch chat knows of any blog that does a live tweet or a live text chat of MotoGP, let us know, and then we can shove it up in the corner. Because we've lost TweetDeck now because it's gone behind a paywall. Everyone just tweet Elon Musk and call him an idiot. Honestly, Elon Musk, what a... I can't swear on air, but honestly, what an absolute moron. I think that's about as quickly we can get away with, can't we? It's a BBC word. Colorado comes through. Just curious, what was the situation with the wasp nest on your side? Wasp nest? Oh, Grid Network. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you didn't know, there's a wasp nest apparently outside of my room, but we don't think it's on our side. We think it's on the neighbour's side. So there's a couple of wasps that just get in the room. We found it at 1:30 in the morning because you can't go to sleep with a wasp in your room because you get stung multiple times. So we found the wasp. We got it out and everything's okay. Window's been firmly shut now as well. Although I can't get out of the commentary box. You might notice there's a box. There's a television box here because we had to buy a new television a couple of weeks ago because the other one exploded. You might have remembered me telling you about it. So, not ours. Not the one in the commentary box, the one in the main house. So we had to buy a new one. The one I'm looking at is a 40-inch in the garage. That's on a... You know, like how Sky have got that telepole stand for the Sky Pad? That's what the television's on here. And this is down into Sochta's Gold. What's happened here? A little bit of a lock-up. Whoopsies! Marco Bezzecchi straight through and the run-off at Sochta's Gold.
To get the engine spec right, and you obviously you want more power, but more top end is not is not the main priority. The main priority is to get an engine torque and negative torque as well, as in the braking zones, that is going to have a natural feel, like a natural character. Every engine has a different feel, and it's going to give you a different feeling in the way it's going to deliver its power, but also in the way that you're going to feel under the engine brake. Now that feel is very difficult to alter with electronic settings. You know, the electronic settings then becomes a little bit of a patch if your engine is not behaving in a proper way. So you need to get that right. And it looks to me this year, it looks like Yamaha has got a little bit more top end, but it looks like the bike's a little bit more nervous, and it's a little bit harder to stop as well on the braking zone. So it's always a compromise
on the acceleration.
Yeah, but you need to get it right, and Fabio's right in saying that they need to get the spec completely right, and you can quickly run out of time. You know, this testing should be almost done by now for next year, and it's a major work that the factories do to get that spec right.
I want to get back into that in just 1 second, but I will point out that he is top of the timesheets. Vinales is second, Nakagami's third. I know it's early stages, I know we're only 15 minutes in, but we were saying we were writing them all off, weren't we?
It's a great start for us. With the Aprilias, we said we're going to be
Aleix in
struggle. Honda's nowhere. Fabio, not the right bike. Bastianini are really struggling. He's sitting in.
They're all.
I want to get onto one thing, Michael.
Where are the KTMs though?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment down in 10th and in 18th, but I don't know, I think it is very early days at this moment in time. I want to ask a question here about tyre pressures. It's one of the things that we talked about yesterday. It was brought up at Silverstone where, you know, we are going to see these tyre pressure ruling enforced. Ducati riders yesterday saying, yeah, here, hard braking circuit, temperatures rising, it's going to be something we're worried about. The Honda riders, Marc Marquez said, yeah, I'm all for it. And the rumour has always been that Yamaha and Honda play a little bit more by the rules. But one thing I'm going to throw in, their bikes, the aero on their bikes, haven't been creating the kind of downforce that you're getting with the Ducatis and KTMs. They both appear to be going that direction, shoving these big bearings in. Are they going to start to find the problems that Ducati and the others have had?
Definitely. Obviously, you add the extra load onto the front end of the machine, you're going to increase pressures via temperatures, so it is going to stress the front tyre a little bit more. And both aero bodies, we just seen some close-ups of Fabio's, and it is that.
Yeah, it's about the same situation as well, isn't it, to come through. So we think we've got a new tweak deck situation sorted, so we're just getting that adjusted, but it's being an absolute mare to get this one right. I cannot do this. It just, it's not working. Sign up and all this like that. Go away, just let us have a tweet deck. Please, just let us have a tweet deck. That's all we want. Just so that we've got some form of information to talk to everyone about and make sure that everything's the same, and it just won't work. So there we go. I think we've got it working now. Yes, there we are. Good. Right, system's working now. So you'll see it shortly as we'll come back over. It's driving us up the wall. We have no idea what is happening with it and why it keeps happening and why it's being such a pain. But yeah, we've got a blog now up and running. Just realised he's only been waiting around in the Discord chat and I haven't seen him. Sorry if that is the case. No, he's not there. Okay. Binder 10th at the moment as they come through. Augusto Fernandez 14th. Let's see where they go on the overall times. Quartararo, medium front, medium rear. He's number 1. Binder across the line, stays 10th. Augusto Fernandez 14th at the moment. 1.6 down on these overall times, so he's not going to be anywhere near the delta he needs across it. And yeah, stays in 14th place then with a 1:32.117. So we'll find the time again later. 25 minutes to go in this first practice session. There's Pit Brellier, the KTM Motorsport Director. The scenes of him punching the air when we had the KTM winners a couple of years ago with Brad Binder in that dry to extreme wet race. Josh T doesn't do MotoGP. The only ones who do MotoGP are me, Megan, and Julia. But Julie's not here this weekend. Megan's not here this weekend. And Omi and Josh T. I think Omi will be here for Moto E, but that's about it. Don't think they'll appear just yet. Colorado's a 1:32.37. Vinales, Nakagami, Zarco, Alicia Spargo, Martin, Bastianini, Bagnaia all coming through as well. And looking better as they stand here in this session.
Things are changing in MotoGP week by week. And as you said there from Paolo Bonora, things he's saying, oh, we put another side pod on, we get this other next effect. And it's happening all the time. And I think because the engines are sealed at the start of the year and aero is having such effect, and more aero you have or more data you have, you can build. Pitt says every week you have to make a step forward. It's not like you need to make a step forward at the beginning of the year and a step forward in the middle of the year at the test. It's literally from Grand Prix to Grand Prix, and they're saying Aprilia have made a step in the 5-week summer break or even just before at Assen. And that's what you have to do, because even if you're not doing those steps forward, you're getting left behind. It's crazy, the world at the moment of MotoGP, and it moving forward race to race, not season to season.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, and the engineers had worked there to collect all that data, put it all together and make tweaks to gain this little tenth, to gain this little edge. And this is why we get the surprises, and this is why we get, there's some riders or some bikes popping up at some time, and this is why it's so hard to predict what's going to happen. This is absolutely brilliant, and with this new aero packages that we can see on the Yamaha and on the Honda, that could make all the difference. The tire pressure new rules, I believe in Silverstone, did not make too much of a difference because of the cooler temperatures, because of the nature of the track as well. But it's going to be much more important here, and we know that many teams and riders have been running those pressures like way too low, as in not within the rules. They're going to have to adapt. This is going to be very interesting here to see, in race mode, in the race runs, what the riders can do and what pace they can hold.
I'm watching Jorge Martin slide up to the chicane. I thought, if he gets this to stick, that's incredible. He didn't.
No.
Spoiler alert.
Quite a fast bailout though. Didn't quite touch the gravel, but he done well. Obviously, it is. You've got see little tweaks, little bounces just as he approached the right at the apex at the curb.
2A and 2B are the names of each part of that chicane.
There we go. That's the new fairing for Marc.
So he has gone back-to-back tests for Marc Marquez. So we're going to have a see now of how that works. He gets a feel for it for the first time. You can't quite see because they're in red, the side pods on that Repsol Honda for Marquez. There is a yellow flag being waved here. Has someone gone down in the chicane? Someone running through it. Oh, there is a bike in the middle of it, and it is Augusto Fernandez's Gas, our first crusher of the weekend.
So how's he done that? Oh, he's turned in, dropped the front. Simple as simple can be to make that error at that part of the track. It's not anything too dramatic. It's not anything that we would be concerned about. It is simply just a front dropping at the worst possible. And there is the graphic that we needed to see. So it looks like everything is now working, although I hope it's is working. It's not just being a pain, because it is getting a bit ridiculous now trying to deal with this, because it hasn't updated itself in a while. So I am beginning to think that this could be a lost cause, to be fair. Yeah, look, it hasn't updated itself in ages, 14 seconds ago. And here comes all the ads and everything, so you do start to wonder to yourself, what is going on with this thing? It's like, just please update, please work, and please load. Either way, Maverick Vinales coming through and having a better session so far.
0.012 from the top of the standing. So for Aprilia coming here, speaking to them yesterday, they were still a little bit concerned that braking was going to be a problem because they haven't fully fixed it. They've improved it from last year, but it's still an area where they're working on, and it's not one particular thing. It is aero body, it's weight balance, it's chassis design, but they say there's still a lot to find in electronics. So at the moment, when locks up or goes sideways, then the return to bringing the bike into line almost pushes the riders into the corner a little bit. So they were concerned that it might be a tough weekend, but free practice 1 with Elish in 5th and Maverick up there in 2nd. It's a good start to proceedings for the Aprilia boys.
I love watching how he was standing the bike up in the final corner. We'll get onto that next time that we go through that part of the racetrack. We're on board with the Pramac Ducati of Jorge Martin, who has had great success here over the years. Martin, he's had 6 podiums in 9 appearances at the Red Bull Ring. Should have had a win. If you remember, it was chalked off in Moto2 that time. It's down to turn 4. Strange one, this corner. Hit the apex on the inside, and actually, chatting to Brad Binder, he said you actually turn the bike on the outside curb on exit because of the way it opens up for turn 5.
Yeah,
It's a weird corner, this one, is they're coming towards Pirelli as well. The constantly shifts around, and the rear just keeps losing it as well. And into the Wurz curve as well at turn 7, then back into 8. Big change of direction quite quickly, and then just smoothing it along. And then my personal favourite, down to turn 9 at the Jochen Rindt curve into Rindt. He just turned it in, so much lean angle as well. And you're going 150, 160 kilometres an hour. Red Bull Mobile, the last corner, nice downhill sweep. There's a lot of track limits problems at the exit. We saw that in Formula 1 as well. Cross the line we go. Martin stays P6 at 1:30. 6:13. This opening hour, this opening 45 minutes of practice is not really completely necessary. And we are going to keep adjusting, by the way, because of the power cut. All the systems sort of went wobbly, and the power was cut because of systems not being plugged in correctly. So we will adjust. So when we go to practice later on, everything will be back up to normal. We'll have a proper controlled deck, a new system for telling us information around the track via the live blogs and everything. So we'll keep as much information as possible open for you at home. As we see Vinales go second with a 1:30.392. There's the gas looking on. That's going to be looking down for the 37. So that's Augusto Fernandez. Just talking with his engineers, writing down with his iPad. Oops, that is Aleix Spargo coming back on the circuit. Now, where'd they come from?
Wonder what happened there. That's
They've
the
gone off the
run-through
tracks,
at
the
turn
run-through,
4.
yeah.
And what you do is you then, on the outside of the racetrack, into 5 and rejoin. Here we
He's
are
gone
at
in the
4.
gravel.
so this was happening to Alicia a lot here last year.
But there was another one.
Same
There's
problem
another
down
one
into
in.
there, and this is what resulted in the head shaking and getting quite angry with his bike and his setup last year.
It's an horrible corner, isn't it? Miguel Oliveira's followed him through as well.
Yeah, I thought Oliveira was
It
there.
is so downhill. I cannot convey how much the track is dropping down and keeps going down through into 5.
When it's downhill like that as well, if you overcook the braking a little bit, your rear is going to start to come round, and you're going to get, a lot of negative, what we call negative slip with the rear wheel, and it's just not stopping.
Mark's down there too, down at turn 9. Mark's gone down there too. Now he's taking it through the gravel trap and we'll be able to get back out, but Marc Marquez also doing exactly the same thing at turn 4, Repsol Honda. Yellow flags come out. Now, has his bike stopped because he's touched the air fence ever so slightly? Now he's going to get going, yeah, but he's kept the bike going. Just a little lock up at the brake and straight run through as well. Nothing too bad as I get off the runoff area. Now, let's see, braking. Rear steps up. Whoops. So it's a downhill braking zone into Socha's Gold at turn 4. The front bike locked up. Rear bike the tyre came out. Just gave him a bit of a kick. So very good that he's managed to hold that at all, actually, and not throw it off on the high side. But Mark getting a little bit better at not binning it over the last couple of weeks. He never had a crash last time out, but still, well, actually, yes, he did, because he still failed to win the race, didn't he, at Silverstone? Mark has yet to finish a race in 2023. In fact, he hasn't finished a race since the Italian Grand Prix last year. So there's an awful lot of negativity coming towards Mark as well. On board with Marco Bezzecchi, 6th fastest at the moment. And not second in the championship now after crashing out last time out. But Aleix Spargo winning at Silverstone. What a great weekend that was as well. I know I'm wearing a Silverstone top right now, and it's not the British Grand Prix, but it's very humid in the UK. Across the line then for Marco Bezzecchi, improves up to 3rd place. A 1:33.05 is his Delta time. So all looking better right now on the circuit as they attack back through. Down into the braking zone for 2A and 2B. The chicane that was added after the accidents of 2020, both races. Of course, the Morbidelli's bike flying across the front of Valentino Rossi. The bike's in front of them. Morbidelli nearly getting collected. Rossi nearly being, well, a lot worse. It was a tricky situation. Morning. Hello, Joshua, says Salva. Good morning to you. Good morning. Or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to you. Quartararo topping the session at the moment. Across the line then comes Binder and stays in 13th position. Yeah, Megan's not with us this weekend. This is one of her weekends off, so she can have a bit of a summer break. She wasn't with us last weekend for IndyCar and Touring Cars. She's not with us this weekend, but she is with us next weekend, but not for Formula One. Next weekend, Megan is with us for the British Touring Car Championship, race 2 alongside Jess, I think. Or Omi, I can't remember. But that's because Josh T is with me in the commentary box here. Josh T will actually be alongside me in the commentary box for the Dutch Grand Prix and the touring car races. So that's going to be a very, very exciting. He will, for the first time, Josh T will be standing alongside me in the commentary box, looking at all the same monitors we do up here, and hopefully having a very good day of commentating together. I'm very much looking forward to that next week. And our guests will be announced who will be joining us on the Discord call, because there's going to be obviously a couple more places open for the Dutch Grand Prix. Oh, Mark having a little bit of a moment at the exit curb, but Soch just gold, just keeping it together nicely as he comes in towards Pirelli. The left-hander, turn 6, downhill segment of the track that leads into the Wurz curve. Nice on the exit, no one touching the green. This Austrian Grand Prix, it's always the best in my opinion. It delivers for Formula One and it really delivers for MotoGP. Close, harsh racing, no matter when we come here, it's always a classic, and I am very much looking forward to seeing what the battling is going to be like here this weekend. It looks to be a dry track all weekend long, which is great, but the storms can just appear here anytime. Marquez crossed the line, 131.407. Goes into 15th position. His brother Alex Marquez following back. He's on the secondary bike now on that Ducati. And the front brake disc this time not hurting and sticking on as he drops down into Jochen Rindt turn 9 into Red Bull Mobile at turn 10. Well, technically, yeah, it is actually because it's 2A and 2B, so the same part of the track, just different corner names. Cross the line then for Alex Marquez on the Ducati. Jumps up to third with a 130.286. So the top, well, actually, it's quite amazing. You can see it for yourself, actually. Look at how close. The top 10 separated by 0.2 of a second, but it's 12 thousandths, 37, 19, 33, 6 thousandths, 32, 53, 30, and 1 thousandth between Bastianini and Bagnaia. And the entire field are actually separated by quite close. The gaps between each other, that's the first one. The secondary is the gap between everybody. But 0.068 is the gap between the top 4 at the moment in the standings. 19 riders are within a second of each other right now. And this is down at Red Bull Mobile. Pass over to the combines.
There's nothing to choose between the riders. We should, all being well, fingers crossed, get a great race here. Should get a great sprint.
Look at the front aero on that bike right now. This is big. Yeah, really big. The Yamaha about 10 k's down in top speed, so that's quite a big difference. But Fabio obviously, again, just like last year, making the difference in the braking zone. So this session now, because it doesn't count for Q2, it's actually really interesting because everybody's with the medium tire, which is the hardest option that they have this weekend. And
of course in the rear of the bike.
Yeah, the rear of the bike. Yeah, and that
options.
should reflect what kind of race rhythm they can have. And yeah, Fabio is looking very good.
Fabio is, as across the line comes Alex Marquez. I've no idea what the ads are showing, by the way. We need to find one where it doesn't have ads. I think CrashNet is the only one that does a live blog. Thanks, Elon, for getting rid of TweetDeck, the most important thing to a broadcaster and journalist you've put behind a paywall. Ideal lap here is a 129.797. That's including the first sector time of Alex Marquez of a 24.637. Sector 2 is Fabio Quartararo, 25.030. Third sector is Johan Zarco on the Ducati, 23.738. And the last sector was Alex Marquez again. But unfortunately, the graphic went away before we finished reading it all because someone at Dorna can't count and read out the same things. So that's always great news to take a look at things. But yeah, not too bad at the moment. Ah, there is Danny Pedrosa, the KTM test rider, who was supposed to be wildcarding at this event, but instead will be wildcarding at the San Marino Grand Prix, I understand, and possibly the last race of the year at Valencia. So, swings and roundabouts, all should be okay. Brad Binder on an improvement time now as well. Oops, this is down to Socha's goal at turn 4. Downhill braking. And back uphill with a big punch. Looks to be a lot better. Quartararo with a 130.237, as I keep mentioning. That's our top time. You can see all the times alongside me in the commentary anyway on our TweetDeck situations. Well, the timing screens. I miss TweetDeck. Okay, I'll admit it. I miss TweetDeck. It was a really handy device, and I loved it. I've used it for over 7 years now, and it was amazing to have it. Now it's gone. Thank you, Elon Musk. Not happy. There is Marc Marquez, just having done 2 stints back to back. Here comes Brad Binder across the line in the 33, 130.764. Only goes up into 12th position as he comes out of Niki Lauda curve at turn 1 down towards turns 2 and 3. Well, 2A, 2B. Riding styles at turn 2. For Binder just sweeps over nicely. We need a name for turn 2. It doesn't have one on the official track map in anything because every other corner on this track has a name, bar turn 2, because it was originally not considered a corner in Formula 1. And then their turn 2 now is a slight little kink up the hill. So it's Remus at turn 3. That's the real breaking point. But MotoGP now have the chicane, 2A, 2B. So what do we call it? The chicane? The 2A, 2B? The 2B, not 2B? I don't know. We need a name for that part of the track. And considering that we're at the Red Bull Ring, and we've got Rinch, we've got Lauda, I'm quite surprised we haven't got anything there for the chicane. I'll have a look actually into it and see if there is actually a name being given. Oh, we've got time now. Should we have a Google? Should we have a Google together? Let's have a think. Turn 2 is called the Joshua turn. Thank you. I'll take that. I think there's actually a Joshua turn somewhere in a racetrack in the world. It's got to be. Right, Red Bull Ring. There's got to be a name, haven't there? Usually, with commentators, we would just Google it and we won't tell you about it because then we'll just look like someone will tell us in our ears. But you can see me on the watch-alongs, so it means I've got to have a look at it. I can't actually find... no, it doesn't have a name. That's really bizarre. Also, it doesn't seem to have a Wikipedia page. I can't find it. That's hilarious. Anyway, coming out of the to-be-named later chicane, as they take on the accelerator. Seriously, there is nothing compared to this one. That's really bizarre. Here we go. Alex Marquez third fastest at the moment. Oh, he's had a fastest first sector time as well, a 24.708. So Alex is looking good. Right, turn 2 does not have a name. We've got the Niki Lauda curve at turn 1, then Remus turn 3, Sochler's Gold turn 4, turn 5 at Pirelli, turn 6 is the Ranch, turn 7 Vos curve, and that's also turn 8. Turn 9 is Rint, turn 10 Red Bull Mobile, but we don't have a name for the 2A, 2B chicane. That is interesting. Track configurations. Well, having a look at it, from past... why do we call it the Raschenbach chicane? The Ratchenstadt chicane. That's a good one. Yeah, well, let's call it all the Hella Lynch S's. That was the old name for turn 1 as well. Well, considering that up the hill was used to be called the Ratchenstadt, let's call it the Ratchenstadt chicane, shall we? So that's what it is. That's going to be hard. Ratchenstadt chicane. This is where I wish Julie was in the commentary box to help me out with these. Cross the line then. Jorge Martin 8th, stays 8th. Maverick Vinales is coming into that final sector. So, considering that old section of the track used to be called the Ratchensack, we should call it the Ratchensack chicane. I think that I would submit that on Twitter. Let's call that the Ratchensack chicane, because that's the old part of the track name when it used to go up the hill towards turn 3 at Remus. So that's what I'm calling it. The run up the hill is the Ratchensack chicane. Vinales into turn 1 at Niki Lauda curve. Niki Lauda curve used to be called the Repsol curve. Now that changed around. And then the A1 ring. We've had, well, to be fair, this track has been known as so many things over the years. I mentioned this during our F1 broadcasts. It was first known as the Oostenrijk ring, then it was the A1 ring, and now it's the Red Bull ring. So there is a lot of names for this track, but it is awesome. And it's nice to see that MotoGP are here. So, oh, Mark has crashed. Of course he has, and it's down in turn 4 at Sochler's Gold. Marc Marquez, who ran off the same part of the track earlier on, has now crashed. And I think he's going to get out, push out of that gravel. It's a blind part of the track, so yellow flags will be out. It is at Sochler's Gold. Don't bring the gravel onto the track. So Marc Marquez, I think what he's done is he's turned in. The rear slipped out from underneath him, and he's ended up in the gravel trap at the side. Let's take a look at it. So it turns in, front's locking. Oh, he's gone straight on because the front wheel's gone wrong. And he's going into the gravel, and he's trying to turn on the gravel, and it's just dropped the rear. So, yeah, that's just a trail brake issue then into the corner. Too much speed downhill and not wanting to crash. He's ended up crashing, so that's not great. And that's the session done, really. 3:30 to go. He won't go back to the pit lane in time, and that's it. So Marc Marquez ends the... Oh, wait, he's got to go again. Never mind. He just likes to prove me wrong, but he's putting gravel all over the circuit now. But Marc Marquez does like to prove me wrong.
Is it going to be enough for him to push, or will he spend the rest of the weekend trying to...
Fana is dropping stones everywhere.
Yeah.
I hope he pits in because he doesn't.
Oh, well,
he's kept on
going without one wing on, just like in Silverstone, where he rode around with one wing missing.
Well, he's still going. That's a surprise to me. I did not expect him to keep going. I honestly considered that he would come into the pit lane and change over, but he hasn't. He's stayed there, out on the circuit. So I am surprised that he hasn't. He's into the Ratchensack chicane now. There's his father watching on. Just gives a little tweak of the head and a bit of a tweak of the nose. D'Antonio's up to 5th, 1:30.318, so a better time improving from him there. Here comes Maverick Vinales then, out of the last 2 corners, out of turn 8, the Woods curve double. Downhill into Jochen at turn 9, and he's down by 0.247 at the moment in the 3rd sector. Bagnaia estimated P8 at the moment as well. Cross the line then for Maverick Vinales. Is he quicker or not? 0.241 down, 1:34.78. Bagnaia 1:30.367 improves up to 8th place. So within a second now, 19 riders still down to Miguel Oliveira. And someone's just shifted on that timing screen that I didn't spot. As Bagnaia letting Aleix Espargaro through, his rival, back at Silverstone into the Ratchensack chicane. Colin says, followed me on Twitter. Did you? Well, it's X now, isn't it? I can't find that yet. No, it's not working. Not enough signal in the garage, I told you. It's really I'll double check that after. So 1 minute to go. We'll be back later, of course, for practice 2. That will be, I'll just tell you the time actually for practice. We will be live for that as well. We'll set that stream up just after this session. I'm on YouTube to try and find out when the graphic is. I need MotoGP's timings up. 60 seconds to go. Quarter hour, 1:30.237. So we will be back, if my phone will allow me to tell you. Practice will be at 2 till 3. So 2 p.m. British Summer Time, 3 p.m. Central European Time. That is when we'll be back for the next session. But 20 riders now within a second So a massive improvement. This is what short track racing does. It's nice and easy, and a lot of fans here already on a Friday morning. Some for the KTM as well. Some have made the trip down. It's a fantastic venue. Let's take a replay. This is Fabio Quartararo into turn 3 at Rima's uphill. Front braking. Oh, he bailed out that one quite early as well. So he didn't want to go on the inside line. It's a right-hander uphill curve at just around about 60 kilometers an hour. It's not that fast through there. Maverick Vinales is up into P2. Zarco's crossing the line, sure to go fastest, and does so. 129.838 with the checkered flag out. And Marc Marquez 16th, the 131.335. Zarco goes straight on at turn 1 and takes the long lap loop around. So and Johan Mir back on the bike, 12th fastest, 135.11, and he's not happy. They'll now do the practice starts at the exit of turn 1, which is on pit exit side as well. So Franco Morbidelli coming up as well, all now taking the checkered flag to confirm the ending of this first session for MotoGP's weekend. Oh, Mike nearly crashed into the ration sat chicane. That was weird. Just turning in, picked up the bike and it wiggled around, and he just tried to get it straight on again. Alex Marquez is still on a lap time. He crossed the line just as the checkered flag came out, so he has this final lap to try and improve. He's 3/10 down at the moment in the second sector. Third sector time, 4/10 down now. So this is just a run through to the end for Alex Marquez. Out of the last corner, gives it the welly, and the last time on the board with the checkered flag coming out to give us goes with Alex Marquez staying in 4th position at 130.483. So nice end to this free practice 1 session. Later on this afternoon, it's practice, and that gives us a 60-minute session. Solely determines the times from that session, the running order for Q1 and Q2. So later on is a very important session. Saturday morning free practice 2, a half-hour session before qualifying, and then we'll go into the sprint race, then a warm-up Sunday morning, and the Grand Prix Sunday afternoon as well. It's going to be a lot of work. We'll also have live for you coverage of Moto E, Moto 3 and Moto 2 throughout the weekend here in Spielberg, Austria. Johan Zarco, 129.838. Quartararo second fastest on a 132.37. Then it's Maverick Vinales third, a 132.49. Alex Marquez is in 4th position. That is with a 132.86. Marco Bezzecchi is 5th, a 133.05. Fabio Di Giannantonio 6th, a 133.07. Takiki Nakagami 7th, a 133.38. Francesco Bagnaia is 8th, a 133.67. Aleix Espargaro 9th, a 133.76. Jorge Martin 10th on a 134.29. As we just look at 2A, 2B, the rack and back chicane from Marc Marquez. Big wiggle, had to hit the F1 layout to get out of it. Anea Bashini is 11th, a 134.59. Johan Mir 12th, a 134.60. Franco Morbidelli 13th, a 130.642. Brad Binder 14th, a 137.46. Luca Marini 15th, a 137.78. Paulo Espargaro 16th, a 137.97. Miguel Oliveira is 17th, a 130.821. Marc Marquez 18th, a 138.56. 19th, Augusto Fernandez with a 131.020. Ralph Fernandez 20th, a 131.232. Lorenzo Salvador is 21st, a 131.283. Jack Miller 22nd, a 131.366. And Aiki Lukanoa is 23rd, a 131.885. So that's the running order for the first practice session here from the MotoGP Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. There's Fabio Quartararo, finished second in the end. It's Johan Zarco, though, on a track that is a Ducati favourite who tops the honours for the Prima Pramac team. We'll be back at 2 p.m. British summer time for a very crucial hour of practice to set the running order for Q1 and Q2. Thanks for your company this morning. Go have some breakfast, lunch, dinner, wherever you are. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.